guys, and welcome to the Watchtower Watch Reviews with your host DK. And what if I told you that you could get a Swiss-made chronograph for absolutely nothing? Well, I'd only be giving you half the story. So, I actually acquired today's watch, the Tissot PRC200 Chronograph, and I think it is actually a limited edition one for the Tour de France. I believe Tissot actually sponsor part of the Tour de France, or had some sort of affiliation at the time. I don't know if they still do. I believe Festina have some affiliation now with the Tour de France, but I don't know if Tissot still do. Maybe they're the official, I don't know, timekeepers or stopwatch people for it. If anyone knows, if anyone's a cycling fan, let me know, because I'm actually not too sure. I actually got this watch as part of a trade. So I was speaking to a guy in the UK called Adrian on one of the watch groups I'm a part of. He said he had a Tissot, he wasn't really wearing much. I said, well, look, I've got a couple of things. I sent him off some pictures, and he actually took a shine to my Loreo, the green Loreo that I had that was a Hulk homage done by Loreo. So I said, look, I'm happy to trade it if you want, thinking there's no way he's going to trade a Swiss-made chronograph for a Chinese-made homage. And amazingly enough, he said yes. So is it any good, or did I throw away a perfectly good Chinese homage on it? Let's take a look and find out. So let's get this one unboxed, and as you can see, what a box. Oh, quick wrist check for you guys actually. I'm wearing my Vostok that I unboxed last week, and it's a really nice one. I swapped it out off that black NATO strap for this really nice black, grey and orange one, and it really suits it. Very nice watch. Anyway, on to the unboxing. So as I say, I actually didn't buy this watch as such. I traded it. I traded it for my green Loreo with a very nice guy from the UK called Adrian. Inside here, inside the wrapping, you can see this is the Tissot box, the traditional Tissot box with their details on it and the logo. Tissot do a lot of packaging with their watches. They also give you these little books, which are actually not a bad little read. One of them is just a promotional catalogue, giving you a look at all the watches that they do. That's not so important, but the other one is actually the history of Tissot, and it's really not a bad little book at all. Kind of something you might read in the toilet if you're bored. Now, we've done all that though. Let's take a look at the watch. So this is the PRC200 in black and yellow with the black and yellow two-piece NATO strap. Inside here, inside the left-hand pocket, you have the user's manual giving you the details of how the chronograph actually works. And inside here on the right-hand side, you get the warranty and the the warranty and the guarantee, I think it is. But I've never used them because these are probably out of warranty, and it's a quartz anyway, so don't really need a warranty. Dimensions on this one, you've got 39.5 millimeters there from 8 until 2. If you include the pusher, 42.5 millimeters, 43.5 at the crown. Lug tip to lug tip, you're looking at 48 millimeters, so reasonably compact, not too bad on that one. Thickness of 12.4 millimeters and a weight of just 72 grams. Of course, this is a quartz, so it will be quite light on wrist. So specs on this one, and it is all 316L stainless steel on the case, the crown and the pushers, of course. You do also have a high polish stainless steel fixed bezel for this, as it is a chronograph and not a dive watch. It is also a predominantly high polish finish. You can see there as the camera focuses in, there's a little bit of brushing just between those pushers and the crown. Most of it is high polish though on the case sides, on the lugs and on the upper lugs as well. You can see a matching finish as well on both sides with the pushers and without the pushers as well. The crystal is a completely flat sapphire piece, of course, and it is possibly got clear AR coating on it, because I found that this one is actually very legible in pretty much any light conditions, day or night. It's very, very easy to read. No major reflection as well coming off the studio lights, which would suggest that it does have AR coating on it. You also get a screw down signed crown and a screw down case back with the Tissot markings on it, 1853, stainless steel, water resistant to 200 meters, which is pretty impressive for a chronograph, and of course mentioning that sapphire crystal and the model number being the T461. There we go, as the camera decides to focus in. The movement is an ETA G10 spot 211. It is a Swiss quartz chronograph with 3 subdials, 30-minute counter, a 1/10 of a second tracker, and of course the running second hand. Push the top pusher to start the chronograph function, that yellow hand ticking away, 1 tick per second. Push it again to stop and to also get the number of 1/10 of a second. So as you can see there, it resets, and once you push it again, it starts again. So you can see there, that would be 10.5 seconds. Press the bottom one to reset the chronograph. Of course, to set the time or the date, you just unscrew it once, to the second position and then pull it out and turn for the date. And to set the time, you just pull it out again and set the hands, of course, as you would do with any other quartz. So time for the macro shot, and you can see there the Tissot 1853 and the 12 o'clock are applied, as are all the indices. You also have a printed minute track then around the inside and a printed tachymeter around the outside of the chapter ring. You can see there nice contrast between the black and the white, of course. You also have those yellow hands for the subdials, really gives it a pop of colour. Nice choice actually, it's fairly nice looking. You have 200 meters, 660 feet there, just beside the 3 o'clock. You have your date wheel at the 4:30, 4 o'clock position actually. Those two all important words, Swiss made, down there at 6 o'clock below the running seconds. The PRC200 is of course the model number. And you can see there that piano black dial giving lots of nice shiny light. And it is time for the Lume Shot. So it's C3 Luminova, but unfortunately it goes very, very, very quickly. Now it is a chronograph, but a chronograph with 200 meters of water resistance, I would still have expected the Lume to be a bit better than this. After about 5 minutes, it's basically useless on screen, and in real life it translates to about an hour and a half, 2 hours. You wouldn't be going diving with this one anyway. And here it is out in some natural light on my just under 7-inch wrist. You can see there that signed buckle there for the Tissot branded 2-piece NATO in black and yellow matching the dial. It does sit a bit high on the wrist considering the size of it, but that is of course that thickness from the water resistance, which we'll be talking about a little bit later on, possibly in the likes and dislikes section. However, if you don't like that NATO, you can throw it on something else. This is a Milanese mesh strap that I got from WatchGecko with a high polished buckle on it. Pretty nice actually. I was surprised how well it went with this strap. I thought maybe it would just suit the NATO it came with, or the 2-piece fabric strap, whatever you want to call it, but it does actually surprisingly work quite well on this Milanese mesh. Yeah, not too bad in my opinion. However, the next one I'm not so sure about. I threw it on this brown leather strap that I had as part of the bunch I bought for the Heimdaller Flieger style watch that I had a couple of months ago at this stage. Yeah, I'm not so sure. It might work better with some black leather and just white stitching, or black and yellow even would probably be the best, but this is what I had to go work with. And that leads me perfectly into the dislikes. The lug width, 19 millimeters again. We've said before on this channel, there is a special place in hell for people who pick uneven lug widths for their watches. Now I will say the strap it comes with is actually quite nice. It does suit it quite well, and it works very, very nicely as a color scheme combo. But yeah, I don't know, if you want to swap it out, you're kind of screwed. However, something that you can swap out is the thickness on this one. Because of the smaller size on this one and the 200 meters of water resistance, this watch is quite thick, and that wears a bit strange. It wears a bit slab-sided on top of the wrist to me, because of the fact that it is only 39.5 millimeters and quite thick for a quartz. It just seems a bit strange. I'd have given up on some of that water resistance, maybe brought it down to 100 meters and shaved a couple of mil off that thickness. Also, it is very, very high polish, which means you are going to get scratches on it. So you can see there, you've got your sapphire crystal, which means that it's nice and safe from getting scratched on the glass. But all the sides of the case and the lugs and the upper lugs are all high polish, which means you are going to scuff them up. You can see this one came to me pre-loved, and it does already have some of those battle scars on it. Not too bad, there's no really deep gouges in it, but they will show up much more than if you had brushed it. Maybe something that Tissot should look into, but of course this is a budget Swiss chronograph, so you probably have to pay a bit more to get it. However, as a roundup, this is a super legible, distinctive appearance chronograph. It is affordable, but it might be a bit too thick for some, especially if your wrist is 7 inches, and especially if you are expecting this one to wear thin like a quartz. It wears more like an automatic. However, I don't think it's as suited to a daily wear as the CW I reviewed, because the CW had a lot more brushing on it, which gives more of a rise to daily wear. And also the 42 millimeters of the CW meant that, CW Christopher Ward meant that it just sat a bit better with that extra height. Still a very nice watch though. So guys, there you have it, my review of the Tissot PRC200 Chronograph that I acquired via trade for nothing but the price of a Loreo and postage. Honestly, I still think, even though it's not my favourite watch, I definitely came out on top of this. I have those two very famous premium words on the dial, Swiss made. And as many people have said to me before, it doesn't matter where a watch is made. I would absolutely agree, but you do always pay a little bit more for those two famous words. Now, it's not a bad watch by any means, but it is a quartz chronograph. I'm not really that big a chronograph guy as it is, so I'm thinking of actually selling this one on. So I'll probably chuck it up on Facebook Marketplace or, I don't know, eBay or something, and see what I can get for it. Anything I get would be pure profit anyway. Guys, thank you very much for watching the review. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I have been your host, DK. This has been the Watchtower Watch Views, and I will see you guys next time.